Is this thing on?
Hello.
Shock, awe, and extreme feelings all around. It must be time for UCR Live for another week. Welcome back, folks. My name is Steve. This is my co-pilot Vera on our journey through the pop culture goings on of yet another week here on this mysterious planet. What a week it has been, my friends.
The
It has
big
been
fucking rock.
it's been a bit, yeah. This week has rocked me well and truly. I don't know about you. How's your week been? Has it been flat out like mine?
Yeah, I've been nonstop. I just realized tonight when I went to make myself dinner, I never got groceries this week. I didn't have anything to cook.
Oh, well, that's not helpful when you're trying to eat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Dear.
it's been a pretty nonstop. We did uh lots of theater this weekend. Then
Mhm.
I had a friend in from out of town, and then there was just work, because the girl can't eat if she done work.
Well, you can't eat if you've got no food either. But
Well, yeah. But if I'm working, I got enough money to buy a pizza.
that's correct.
Come
You can
on,
always
take
order
out.
it in this
Uber
modern
Eats.
day world.
You
Hey
are
Joe,
up.
how are you today?
Hey, Joe.
Yeah, it's good. You can Uber Eats your life away. There's
Yeah.
there's a lot of choices in Auburn. I've been on Uber Eats.
Yes.
I know there's choices. I've had a flat out week too. I've had one, two, three, four staff members be away this week. On top of the two that are already long term away. So I've been dancing my little heart out. I did 5.5 hours straight the other
Is
night.
it your
I'm like, I am not young enough for this
fussy,
anymore.
fussy, fussy?
I know it's very that. Just went. I got to yesterday, and my brain was like scrambled eggs. I was just like, well, I'm just gonna make it through, and I did. We made it to Friday in Australia, anyway, and we are
2 hours
skating into the
away here,
weekend.
3 hours away here.
Holding on for
3
dear life for
hours.
that weekend. It's. I'm not. I'm gonna be busy, but
Yeah. Well,
it's
actually,
a
I'm
weekend. It's
not
a
going to be
plus.
busy this weekend for the
Oh,
first
lucky
time in
you.
several weeks.
What is that like?
I'll let you know.
Let me know as you luxuriate.
As
As you
I
luxuriate, and
sleep
I'll
till
be.
10:30 and
I'll be
cruise out
running
to the
around like
grocery
an
store at 1.
absolute fool doing 958 things. I think we got 2 investigations this week. I've got a retail thing. I might be going out for a brunch. It's just at a rehearsal, so there is no rest
Disgusting.
for the wicked.
I would so love to do that cruise that with Anna and Renata. Man, that'd be fun.
Oh my god. Well, look, we shall see how we shall see how we go. Well, we have a lot to talk about today, V. So maybe we should just jump
Just
straight
jump
into it,
right
huh?
in, dive in.
Yeah.
Water's
Get ready,
fine.
folks. It's time for a heaping help of
hot load of hot topics.
now the story that is dominating not only the regular news but social media news is a sad one and something that we can't avoid talking about because it is all encompassing
Everywhere.
everywhere. The death of actress Hayden Panettiere at just 36 years old. Now, if you are not on top of it, Hayden is a TV and movie actress, most well known for playing Claire Bennett in the hit series Heroes. She also played Juliet Barnes in Nashville and became a fan favorite in the Scream franchise, starring in Scream 4 and Scream 6 as Kirby Reed. Uh, Earlier this week, there was a sad report that came from her representative. It is with profound sadness that we shared a tragic passing of a beloved Hayden. She was an incredible life and force of nature who brought immeasurable love and joy to all who knew her and to the millions who watched her on screen. Let's just start there, really.
I know. It's been shocking. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone knows her from somewhere. All
Yeah.
right. Not
I mean,
everyone
she's
watched Heroes, but if you didn't watch Heroes, you might have watched Guiding Light. Not everyone watched Guiding Light, but if you didn't watch Guiding Light, you might have watched Nashville. you know?
If you watch Nashville, you watch Scream, or you watch Remember the Titans, or you watch all of
She's
these
been so everything
prolific
she's
career.
done, she was beloved in. And
And
all of her
that's what I
body
was
of
going to
work touched
say.
somebody.
That's what I was going to say, because it was strange. Well, not strange, I guess. It's unique that when somebody passes away, there isn't someone who has something horrendous to say about them.
Yeah.
She's like, and you're seeing it on social media, the sheer amount of people that are not only reporting and reacting, but seem genuinely upset by the fact that she's no longer with us.
I was
It's,
genuinely upset, you know?
I was too. I've been a Hayden fan for a very, very long time. Obviously, huge Scream fan, but loved Nashville. Remember watching her in
Loved
Racing
Nashville.
Stripes, all of that
Yep.
kind of stuff. Now we can't talk about Hayden's passing without the controversy surrounding it. Now, we covered the release of Hayden's book recently. I only finished it 2 weeks ago. Just
Mhm.
think about it.
So you
But
have Hayden right in the top of your mind.
yeah, she's been floating around, and that she's been doing interviews about wanting to be in Scream 8 and what's coming next for her, which is probably the most tragic
Right.
part of all of this, is that she looked like she was rounding a corner. Her book, This Is Me, A Reckoning, detailed quite intently her struggles with substance abuse, postpartum depression, PTSD from some
Motherhood.
not well, we'll get to that one, to some from not great experiences in Hollywood, which she spoke about freely and openly. But Hayden's passing is controversial in itself. When she passed, she was with her former boyfriend, who she took restraining orders out against, and when he went to
And who
jail
served
for
jail time. Served
So
jail
Brian,
time. Founded guilty, confessed to and admitted guilt in battery charges.
and she illustrates that in the book and talks about their relationship in the book, and she'd said that she never wanted to get back with him. So I don't know what has happened in the recent times. The official
Predators.
ruling, the official ruling is an overdose at the moment, but there are, I think, 3 separate investigations going on into her death now. The DEA is involved.
Yeah.
There's enough questions around to make this seemingly innocuous overdose a point of big contention. I don't think, there are enough questions at the moment as to what happened to her, and why the Narcan was found on the bed, and why she was in one room and the boyfriend was asleep somewhere else, and all of these questions, that the conspiracy theories that are now coming out on top of it aren't helping. And I know it's a way of people.
They're understandable. I mean, very
I know they're
understandable.
understandable, but we want to get the truth, as close to the truth as we can first, before you throw extra shit on an already shitty situation.
Well, if there is a truth that's different from the one that seems obvious, you're going to want to get to it. You want that to come out for her sake and the sake of the family she's left behind, including the family of us.
And we are going to talk about her family, because she does have an 11-year-old daughter who she famously signed away her parental rights to, which she again speaks about very openly in the book. I'm going to read the statement from Vladimir Kachinko, her former fiance. Our family is going through a time of profound shock and grief. The announcement of Hayden's tragic death saddens me deeply. She left this world far too soon. Hayden was, although no longer my partner, an important part of my life and the mother of our daughter, Kaya. She built an incredible career through immense talent while facing the darker sides of a very demanding industry. Nothing will erase the times we shared or the place that she had in our lives. To our daughter, Kaya, I will always speak of her mother with respect and make sure she remembers the person she was. I extend my deepest condolences to Hayden's parents, her friends, and her fans who are also grieving today. Young and talented people like Hayden should not have to leave this world so soon. I ask everyone to please respect our family's feelings and privacy during this incredibly difficult time. For now, this is all I will say. Thank you for everyone who is supporting my family and expressing their sincere condolences. I think that says a lot too.
It does, and
about
it chokes you up just reading it.
It does. For, a contentious personal relationship that they had, that he is still able to speak of the mother of his child with such respect and reverence is a huge thing. And I think that bodes well for Kaya's future, that
Yeah.
she has that support of her father, and knowing that even though her parents couldn't be together, couldn't work out together, that they were united in their care and love for her more than anything. And
Right.
it's her having to give up her child was a choice that she made because she knew that she couldn't parent her in the way that she needed to be parented. The book, it talks very in depth about her postpartum depression and about her really struggling to find that motherly bond with her in the early stages of
Right.
Kaya's life, and add to that substance abuse issues, some obvious trauma in her past, that
Yeah.
it all adds up. But she was still able to make a choice, a selfless choice, to make sure that her child had the best chance of having a fantastic life, and I know she will.
Mhm.
Interestingly, one of the biggest contention points is Hayden's former relationship with Neutrogena. And
Oh.
even after her tabloid years of them chasing her around and trying to catch her doing naughty things, the thing that led Neutrogena to drop Hayden was her admission of postpartum depression. That's why she lost her Neutrogena
Wow. I
contract.
didn't know that.
And the fan base has been rabid at Neutrogena, so much so that today Neutrogena have released their own post regarding Hayden. So we're going to read that one for you now. We are deeply saddened by the passing, saddened by Hayden Pantier's passing. For more than a decade, Hayden was a valued member of our Neutrogena community. We are proud to have partnered with her and understand that we made her feel unsupported during a very difficult time. This is not what Neutrogena stands for, nor not what we're going to be. Hayden's courage in sharing her challenges helped inspire important conversations and awareness. We are making significant investment to a long-standing community health partner to help give more women access to support they need, including care for postpartum depression. We will share more details with this community when plans are in place. Out of respect for Hayden's family and loved ones, we did not want to speak out so soon following her passing. Everyone at Neutrogena extends their deepest condolences to Hayden's family and all who loved her. So for a multi-million-dollar company to feel the pressure,
Yeah.
that's reach. I don't think we think of these, because she isn't an A-list movie star. I think people just assume she didn't have reach, but her activism work for Peter is being, celebrated as well. They've just released her final campaign
Right.
after her death now as well, and it is a beautifully shot, very moving campaign about whales and dolphins in captivity, where she's in a bathtub. the reach of this young woman and the bravery of this young woman to step forward and speak her truth and make it known when she had that Neutrogena, and it wouldn't be a cheap, like 10 years of an association with a company.
Mhm.
She wouldn't be on small dollars, that would
No.
be a big sum of money, and for her to step away from that, she wasn't dropped, but her contract was not renewed after her comments, and she was told as such. But it is a big conversation, the shift of perception of mental health as well. 10 years ago, I don't know that we were willing to have an open and honest discussion on postpartum depression.
Well, women's health is really so fucking new in terms of medical history. Women's health was only named in the 80s. It didn't exist before the 1980s. That's 40 years of trying to figure out what makes women tick differently.
And what makes women tick is a very good segue, because for all the love and adoration and lament and sadness comes Hayden's mother's statement on her daughter's death. And we're going to read this one. I think Hayden was an amazingly talented person in so many departments, and I think young people who grow up in the entertainment industry is a struggle and a very challenging industry, and it's not unusual that for them to sadly, to find the wrong path. There's a lot of history in the past that Brian has enabled Hayden many times, and this is why her father and I had been concerned for a long time about him. No contact was a choice I made for very specific reasons, and certainly not for a lack of care, concern, or love. I think it becomes very difficult to be true to yourself, and I think Hayden sadly lost her way, and I wish it was different. I wish she had stayed true to herself because she had so many incredible attributes. I just feel that she's with her brother and they're at peace. Language warning.
Um,
What a cunt.
that post screams narcissism to me. And
That is
that
your
makes total
child.
sense when you look at the track record of abuse with the boyfriend. A narcissistic parent makes it easy to be prey to that kind of manipulator. I can speak. I really can.
That is your
Yeah. Why
child.
is this about the mother and the mother's,
And
does she even need to mention no contact?
But why is she blaming her child who is now dead?
Of course.
Her second child who is now
Right.
dead.
Right.
Because Hayden's brother died of an overdose a couple of years ago, and she spoke about that quite
And how it
graphically in the
wrecked her.
book, and
Yeah.
how it destroyed, and it probably set her back a long way in her own recovery because
Mhm.
of. But where does that come from? Both of your children have substance abuse issues. Introspection is a quality that you should get when you become old enough and responsible enough to be a parent. A grandparent, actually.
Sometimes mommy is the monster in the closet.
Well, Hayden spoke of her relationship with her mother, and it's a tale as old as time.
Yes.
Hayden had the career that mummy never got, and then she was a drinker, and Hayden didn't like that she was getting drunk and doing all these acting crazily at industry events, and had to fire her. And famously / infamously, when Hayden had to fire her mother on the set of Heroes, I believe it was, in the trailer, the only thing her mother said to her before she left the room was, "You owe me." I mean, even Gail King called this woman out on
Yeah.
international TV. If someone is citing that your behavior is pretty fucked up, then that's pretty fucked up.
Pretty fucked up.
But it just, I guess, speaks to the struggle that you don't see. We talk about it all the time. The struggle that you don't see is part of the problem. I mean, you grow up, you become your own person, you live a life, you get a career. She had everything going for her for a very long time, and
Seemingly.
it doesn't fix things.
Right.
Doesn't fix things, doesn't fix people. So I guess to put a bow on it, because it's still a developing story, we'll keep our eye on it. But it's just sad.
It's terribly sad.
It's just sad. And it's been a bit of a bummer this week because it's not been something you could escape either. Every day.
I said, it was everywhere. Every night, no matter what my day was, when I turned on the TV, there was something about Hayden.
And I guess if we're looking for upsides to it, it will drive people hopefully to the book, which will drive people to see issues and the things that she was speaking out against. So we will see how this story develops.
I would like to take a moment as a mental health professional here to put on my nursing cap. We know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the street drugs in our country are loaded with fentanyl. It's entirely possible that this is just simply a case of fentanyl. But if you are a drug user in any way, shape, or form, and if you're buying from the streets, you need to have Narcan. Find it. It's free everywhere. Get some Narcan. You never know who's going to need it. It may not be you, but it might be your good friend.
And yeah, all it takes is one microsecond of a lapse of judgment, and it's a very serious thing. So we'll move on from some bad news to some good news.
Yeah.
Isn't it great? Isn't it great to see Rosie O'Donnell back behind a desk on television? Oh my God.
She's been killing it too.
Definitely what your country / the world needed, as Rosie O'Donnell steps in for Jimmy Kimmel. Which is one of the best like stick it to the man moments you can really get. I mean, if he hated the Jimmy Kimmel show, what could we possibly do to make things worse? Rosie.
I love how she's never used his name.
No, well, she knows the game she's playing. That's the thing.
Yes, she does.
She knows the game she's playing. And that first monologue was...
Well, she was the first boogeyman for him.
Such a brilliant example of why she's so good at what she did. You know, it's natural, and you don't see that a lot. I think we've given a lot of celebrities talk shows lately and hosting jobs.
Mm-hmm.
There's something to be said for the ease and confidence of somebody who knows the gig.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt completely in control. I was like, well, she should just take over the show. Like that's you see it, you're like, well, this should just be the Rosie show from now on. She should be back. She should be here. But I did love her little story when her child had to explain about
why they were moving
to Ireland, and it was meant to be this big secret, but they went and did news at school. And Clay said, "I'm being forced to move to another country because the President of the United States hates my mother. But in all fairness, I believe my mother hates him more." That is sheer brilliance. And then the direct Shakespearean aside, I know you're watching.
Yes.
It's just, she knows the game, and look,
Of course he's watching. He couldn't
of
stop
course,
from watching.
no, this is and he says, I don't know what
Pretty.
she's done. She's in his craw forever.
She didn't fawn over him, you know? But I'm pretty sure there was some ketchup thrown this week in the White House.
Oh, there's definitely some unhappy moments because she's
Unhappy meals.
she's literally she's a busy she's backing it up. You know, she's doing a couple of nights worth of. It's a week. Is she doing the week?
She's here all week. Well, tonight's the last night because they don't film on Friday.
So we'll see how tonight goes.
I can't wait to watch
it.
It
could be a burn it all down.
I will be right over there in front of that TV watching it all tonight.
It could be a burn it all down moment. You never know. She's leaving the country afterwards. We shall see how Rosie's last night goes. But it has been very refreshing to see her.
I wish Jeffrey was on so
TV.
we could get to hear about her one-woman show that he saw.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk to Jeff soon. I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Well, speaking of goings on inside the White House. Oh.
Oh God.
I know. Natalie Harp is a very interesting figure within the White House administration, and now officially the president's aide, special and executive assistant.
Now we're paying her for all this crazy.
Yeah, so do you want to explain a little bit about Natalie Harp for people, Vera, who might not know
Harp,
that special brand?
Could best be described as a groupie, I believe. She has been an ardent follower of the president, and she has been maneuvering her way closer and closer to him for a while now. At one point, she tried to book a room at Mar-a-Lago so she could be at his club and meet him. And when there were no rooms available, she slept on the floor of the locker room, waiting for her opportunity to meet her hero. Since meeting them, she has become closer and closer and closer to him. Her behavior has been so troubling that the Secret Service cautioned Trump against her, but she is currently traveling with him exclusively. They call her the
human printer.
The human printer, because she's putting all of his thoughts into words for all of his Truth Social posts. Now, I've heard a couple people suggest that maybe she's a foreign asset, but I don't put any faith in that. But she's definitely cray-cray.
There's something single white female about it, or like misery, big misery, big Kathy Bates energy.
You know what the hell? You know,
and that's not even touching the allegations of there being something else to their relationship other than a professional working relationship.
She was in the catering truck during Operation Orange Chicken.
She was important enough to get removed.
Much speculation about the fact that he took her instead of Carolyn Levitt, and that's why Carolyn stepped down.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
she is one to watch. There is this rogues gallery is just getting very interesting very interesting to watch the developments in the rogues gallery here.
Yeah,
it's and the access. The big thing people seem to have a problem is the access to that she has, given that she's not actually
unfettered access to all international data and secrets.
She's not a professional anything.
No,
she's
a groupie. She's a groupie.
And that's terrifying.
Terrifying, and yet
who's to say,
still so on fucking brand.
who's to say who she is, where her allegiances lie, but she's able to get that close.
She slept on the floor in the locker room.
She also got into the trunk of a car.
Yeah, my sister started telling me about that earlier, but we didn't really have time to get into it, and I hadn't heard it yet.
Yeah, she traveled with him. There was no seat. She jumped in the trunk of a car. What kind of that's a Svengali
bizarre.
weirdness hold that he has on her for some reason. It's I don't get it.
Will go to my grave not understanding people's attraction to this man. In my eyes, he is all things repulsive.
It's not a physical attraction, it's a power attraction, obviously.
But is he real? I mean, I guess. I don't know.
Well, what you look like on paper matters to people. And,
yeah.
We have to be clear and concise with our actions. Another surprising to me anyway, news piece this week. Everyone's favorite Playboy.
Free Luigi.
Playboy. He has pled guilty.
I know. Well, he did do it. I mean,
he did do it.
He did do it. We can't argue against the fact that he did do it.
Yeah. So, but the admission of tracking Thompson and fatally shooting him and knowing that he knew what he was doing was illegal is, I guess, the nail in the coffin there, right?
Absolutely,
Admitting there wasn't any kind of mental health.
No mental health questions. He eliminated any of those alibis that might have mitigated anything other than a life sentence.
So this admission is possibly a way of teetering on something else, because Mangioni's attorneys have filed a motion asking New York to dismiss the separate state murder case, arguing that prosecuting again for the same conduct would violate double jeopardy protections.
Yes.
So what is the worst outcome here?
The worst case outcome right now is a life sentence with time off for good behavior.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's the best case scenario. The worst case scenario would be 2 life sentences with no option for parole.
Yeah. It seems like they're trying to do some wrangling, though. Behind the scenes wrangling.
Yeah.
Because it's not only the court of law, it is the court of public opinion with this case. And we've seen the reaction to
Luigi.
Mm-hmm.
Healthcare moguls in this country don't get a lot of sympathy, especially when you're trying to get your end of life cancer treatment paid for, and they're saying
you can't. I guess you can't really. We had this conversation,
and you're out of your lifetime to.
Oh, you froze on me.
I'm right here. You can't hear me.
That's all right. Yeah, we got you. We had this conversation when the event happened too. It is a very difficult situation to see both sides, because Tristan Thompson was somebody's husband, somebody's child. It makes it difficult. It makes it harder. Oh, we've lost Vera for a second, but that's okay. We will continue on. So, Luigi, to be continued, I guess. We will see. The sentence is scheduled for December 18th, with the life imprisonment. The state murder case, September 8th. But that is, as we said, a developing story. We shall see if Luigi actually faces those moments in court. Another celebrity who is having a moment in court at the moment is one Selena Gomez. Now, this story kind of snuck out and is gaining traction, gaining interest. And Vera's back again.
Sorry, I don't know what happened.
That's okay. That's all good. So we're going to talk about Selena Gomez's lawsuit that has been taken out against her, facing federal lawsuit over the collapse of Wondermind, the mental health startup she co-founded with her mother, Mandy Teefey, and entrepreneur Daniela Pearson. Investigators who put nearly $1.2 million. Investors, not investigators. Investors who put nearly $1.2 million into the company alleged that they were misled about Wondermind's financial health, leadership, and plans for growth. The lawsuit also claims Gomez was expected to play an active role in marketing the business and helping develop products, including planned app, but many of those promises were never fulfilled. Perhaps the most explosive allegation for the investors claim that for 3 years, while the company quietly collapsed around them, they were not properly informed about what was happening. I think this just screams you got to be careful what you put your name to.
Yeah.
If it is not an area that is your area, then you need to have a strong team and network of people
Where
that
were
are
the
going to
experts
make
to help her piece this together.
And celebrity branding is the thing. Everyone has something, whether it's a range of cookware or candles or body shapers or whatever.
Mhm.
Doing your due diligence, especially when it comes to something as important as mental health, though.
Yeah.
Oh, Selena. And I know she has, she has brand recognition.
Yeah.
People would have bought
She
into
has a
Wondermind
cosmetic
knowing,
line, an international cosmetic line
yeah,
for Latina women.
knowing that she is who she is, people would have bought into this company, assuming that she is actively involved. But how involved is probably, again, speaking of due diligence, something that these investors should have really looked into. You've got to read your contracts, people. They're a fine print for a reason.
Mhm.
You've got to find out what the do's and the don'ts are, especially when you've got a celebrity face attached. I mean, Selena Gomez has been quite forward with her own mental health struggles and her actual health struggles and how those two things intertwined and have very much changed her life. But is it the reality of the situation when she is producing a TV show, when she has a makeup range, when she's making music, when she's doing this, that her whole focus is going into this brand?
Right.
I guess it's a matter of, as we said, making smart choices and really sticking with it. But again, developing story there. We'll see how this all washes out for Selena.
Yeah.
How it goes. But, forgiveness.
I mean, we really want it to go well because Selena is also a beloved character in our social
pop sphere.
Yes.
Forgiveness comes at weird times. Who would have thought? Harry and Meghan are moving back to the UK. Now, of course, everyone's first moments are they're out of money. They need to go back. They're out of money.
No, they're not going back into royal life, though.
No. I can't. And look, this is, I know, the cynic in me. Is it a coincidence that they met with the king less than a month ago, who is in tenuous health, and now they're returning?
I would hope not. I would hope that Young Harry wants to be closer to his dad at what may well be it's definitely the end of his life, but may well soon be the end of his life. Maybe he wants his children to know where he grew up and the history of his life. I don't have those kind of questions. I think it makes perfect sense that he's going to want to move back and be closer to his family when his dad's health is tenuous.
Knowing what we know about the firm, I don't know that there's not something else happening behind the scenes.
What do you think that could be?
I think he's not well. I think that he might have had some kind of official word / diagnosis and maybe a time limit that has been given. Because for people that have been through this process, they're pretty accurate. When we went in and had our conversation with the surgeon after my dad had his surgery, they said 6 to 8 months on the dot. Like, they weren't wrong. So when there is that kind of timeline given,
if they're going to give you a timeline, they have to be pretty sure. My experience is most doctors are not going to give you a timeline.
But that's what I'm saying, when it's serious enough that they can give you an estimate, and a very accurate estimate at that, I don't know. And given that, we've had the official all clear for Kate celebrating her all clear. We got the king is doing well.
Yeah, I think he's moving back because his father's health is poor. I think that's obvious, but
and then
they're
that
not
is
saying
going to
that out loud because
no.
Dad is the leader of
they
that
never
country.
will. They never will.
Right.
That's the thing. We have to keep up appearances. We never will. We will never admit that there is something wrong. And when the royal family shows humanity, it brings the people closer.
Yes.
When they prove that they are human. Look at what happened with the Queen and Princess Diana. Queen Elizabeth acknowledging Diana kept the monarchy alive, because we have to remember how much vitriol was being aimed at them because of Diana's death.
And because of Diana's exile from her royal highness.
Yeah, they were becoming a rapidly decaying,
irrelevant,
archaic structure.
But
that act won them back. She became a more personable person after that as well. The access that
and Charles became more personable too, because he took a lot of vitriol about divorcing Diana.
Yeah. And then, of course, you've got William, Kate, Harry, Meghan, that were the new, royalty 2.0 there for a hot minute when they were all together, all doing the thing.
Oh, they were royalty kids.
It was cool to be royal again.
Who didn't have a crush on one or the other?
It was cool to be royal again when the four of those people were all working together. It will be interesting to see how their move back interacts with the brothers' relationship. I can't imagine that they won't be trying to mend fences as well if the inevitable is going to happen sooner than we think.
Of being the only two people left in their immediate family.
Yeah.
You would hope that they find peace and comfort in each other.
And that's really what, of course, their mother would have wanted too.
Yeah.
But mothers always want the best for their children. Sometimes questionably so. Did you see Meghan Trainor's separation anxiety doll?
No, I missed this story.
Meghan Trainor has come up with an interesting way of trying to solve 5-year-old son Riley's separation anxieties, making a tiny custom doll of her.
How's that going for her?
Apparently, it's working. He said he started to use his stuffies, like his Smurfette and stuff like that, to placate himself when they were getting separation anxieties, and he kept picking up Smurfette saying, "This is mama, this is mama." And I thought, I'll make a mama. I'll make a stuffy that looks like his mama. He hugs it, he kisses it, he walks around with it. Okay. I might seem a little old school and jaded.
No, not you, my friend.
Separation anxiety is just a part of life. It's part of growing up.
It is,
Children
but
have,
I mean,
children,
you want,
children
you don't
have
want
to know that they can't access their parent at all times. It's not if you're a multimillionaire, yes, it is a reality. It is a reality that mum's at home and she can go record in the music studio and then a nanny can look after you. But for the people that are, out there working jobs, 2-3 jobs to feed their family, these kids do have to go to school. These kids do have to go to daycare. They don't have the option or the access to just go, oh yeah, separate. It's part of growing up, isn't it? That you learn to deal without your parent.
It can be, absolutely, but there could be really extreme separation anxiety. I don't know enough about her relationship with her son. He's finding peace in that doll. Why make him give it up just yet?
Well, no, I'm not saying you give up the doll, but I'm just saying, and this is a big thing about, I think there's something to be said for everyone that wants to homeschool their kids and do all that kind of thing. There are circumstances where it is necessary.
Mm-hmm.
But there are things.
There are social skills that they aren't going to learn at home.
They're not going to get the fact, depending on how Megan's career pans out, this kid might never have to have a regular experience. But then that separates you from your peers.
Everybody.
Again, it separates you from everyone. But not in a physical way, but in an experience way, that you don't get an authentic, real experience. We've all had to get a childhood. We've all had to go to but we've all had to go to school and be away from your parents, and that
and
interaction
learn to make friends
and socialization.
Resolve conflict and learn to
emotionally regulate and self-soothe and do all those things that we used to learn. That's not abuse to me. There are so many ways that modern parenting throws these things around as, well, I'm not going to do that to my child. It's horrible. You might have had a horrible experience, but the rest of the world exists.
Doesn't have an option.
We exist in this reality because it happens. I'm not crying, screaming abuse at my parents because they sent me to school when I wanted to stay home with my parent. No, it's not real. It's not. I think you're just walking a really tenuous line when you feel like you need to solve every problem, because if you solve every problem for your child, then they don't develop problem-solving skills themselves. They don't know how to deal with adversity themselves. They don't know how to pick themselves up after being disappointed. They don't know how to take correction. They don't know how to interact with people that they may not be best friends with. They don't know how to talk to a stranger. They don't know how to deal with their emotions in a way that
is she not sending him to school? Is that not happening?
He's only 5, so probably not yet, I would imagine. But this is the kind of stuff you want to. But this is the kind of stuff you want to start teaching your kids, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're both not parents, but I've been around enough kids to see it. You can tell when kids have everything done for them.
Yeah.
You can tell when parents speak for their children. You can tell when parents do everything for their kids. And it doesn't lead. Those kids have a harder road. As easy as you're trying to make it for them, those kids have a harder road at the end of the day. So let them experience disappointment. Let them experience hardship. Let them experience the not great parts of life. It's not going to damage them. It's going to build them up. Because you can't be a complete person without seeing the lows. Not everything is going to go your way your entire life.
Unpopular opinion. I understand exactly what you're saying. I do feel like modern parenting is a little bit too coddling, but I also feel, you know, a lot of the parental mistakes that I see my friends and family making are trying to correct the mistakes that our parents made. You know,
But that
the pendulum
is
is
also,
swinging to an extreme and it will settle in the middle.
yeah, but that's a processing thing that you should deal with as an adult and not put that onto your child. You know, you can't
True.
swing that far the other way, because it's going to segue into this next story that we're running out of time. But I really want to talk to this because it is the direct response to parenting, and you will not convince me otherwise. Now, you probably didn't hear this story, Vera, but shocking does not even begin to describe this case. 27-year-old Oliver Sean Anthony Conroy was, there's no other way to put it, attacked and killed. So he was led to believe that he was meeting an 18-year-old woman for a date, and then police investigators allege he was ambushed by a group of teenagers aged between 14 and 17, brutally assaulted and robbed before his car was stolen. Conroy was then allegedly dragged for almost a kilometer before being run over. He died in hospital. 7 teenagers, 5 boys and 2 girls have since been charged with murder.
Why were they victimizing this young man?
Why? What?
Do they have they expressed a reason? They just
they're
lured him to his death?
In Australian legal terms, they are minors.
Yeah.
That's
In
not the
American
activity
legal
of a
terms, they're
minor.
minors also.
That's not the activity of a minor, and it doesn't matter if you weren't physically there pushing him out of the car, etc., etc. If you were there, you're an accomplice, you're guilty, and these kids shouldn't be treated as kids, because that is not the act of a child.
Well, here in the States,
even if it's an accident,
tried as an adult. If the crime is heinous enough, a judge can deem you to be tried as an adult.
But all right, we're talking about parenting. Where were these kids' parents?
Yeah.
Where were these kids' parents, and what notion, in what world do you think that it's a great idea to play a psychological game with somebody, then B, try to rob them, and when that doesn't work out, you run over this person?
This is so not an unusual scenario. I'm going to share a story from my job. When I first started at this clinic 14 years ago, there was this young kid and his brother. And the older brother is the kid I'm talking about. And the older brother was so devoted to protecting his younger brother. He held his hand. He helped him answer questions. He had a beautiful protective spirit about his younger brother. And they were in a bad situation. They were, in and out of foster care, but they kept being placed back at home. 10 years after that meeting with these 2 children, the older brother's part of, he and 2 of his friends decided they were going to rob a drug dealer. And in the robbery, the drug dealer pulled out a gun and ended up dead. And now this young man who had this beautiful spirit at 9 years old is in prison for life at 19. I can't hear you.
So we are responsible for the way that we send children into the world.
He was tried as an adult. The judge here in this country is able to make that determination, and he was tried as an adult. But to this moment, it breaks my heart thinking about that beautiful young man and how his life turned on a single act.
But again, as you said, they were taken out of the home because it was not an appropriate home for them and put back into that environment where
Yeah.
a parent is not suitable, is not fit to
Yeah.
guide these children to be a part of this. We keep knocking into this week after week after week. We have to be part of a society. We have to be part of a community. You don't get to do what you want to do because you want to do it and it's going to help you.
Right.
What these kids did
We
to
are
this
our
young
brother's
man is
keeper,
inexcusable. But this is inexcusable, and this should be bigger news. It's not bigger. The fact that it's not bigger news blows my mind.
This young kid went to prison for life at 19.
So,
He hadn't even had a life yet.
but what is the answer then?
I
do
don't
you
know
think,
what
to
the
stuff
answer
like
is.
this?
I mean, you can't come up with parenting guidelines without becoming draconian. Like
But
every
then,
parent needs to pass a test, and you have to have a
should the
minimum.
parents then not be held culpable, if not responsible?
I would
Culpable.
like to see
Should
that.
they not face some kind of charges too? Because what's a 14-year-old doing hanging out with 17-year-olds at nighttime?
Right. Oh yeah.
Let alone all that kind of stuff. If you are legally responsible for these children, then you should face legal repercussions when these children break adult laws.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just go, Hayden Panettiere's mum, oh well, that was her. It was nothing to do with me. Don't you love how the show just bleeds, just meshes
It
together?
does this. I can't ever. I marvel at it every single week how our show interweaves.
It shows, I think, and that's the importance of what we do, that no matter if you are a celebrity or Joe Blogs on the street, the reality of the world that we live in is not dissimilar. Mental health,
Right.
Parenting, all this kind of stuff. It affects
whether
everyone.
you're rich or whether you're poor, whether you're Australian or whether you're American.
Or wherever you are in the world. Singapore, apparently we're very big in Japan a couple of weeks ago, so thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you,
Japan. Us in Japan. Watching and listening. But
we'd love a trip over there. We'll sign autographs.
it never ceases to amaze me the commonality that doing this kind of show shows us, because pop culture reflects real life, and we are a mirror unto ourselves. So it's very interesting. I don't know the answer to it, but it is something that we seriously need to think about as a society, what kind of world we are setting these children up for and what kind of individuals we are putting into this world to lead it to hopefully better things.
Yeah.
It's time to fog up the mirror even more, because it is time for Vera Events. Okay, V, here we go. 3, 2, 1, event.
Every once in a while, I'm writing my event down and I pick a name. And oddly enough, this week's name is Affordability and Accountability and Donald Trump's Latest Boogeyman. So as we approach the midterms here in the United States, Donald Trump has once again trucked out all of his old favorite boogeymen. And he's not voicing a single policy. He's just calling people names. Anybody who's not on his side is a communist or a socialist or a Democrat or a traitor. But yet he could be taking so many laps as a politician and as the president of the United States. He could be talking about policies. But Donald Trump has no clue how to stop the war that he started. Mr. Art of the Deal has given up all of his negotiating chips trying to stop this war. And meanwhile, he can't get supplies for his Navy because nobody can get in or out of the Strait of Hormuz, which was open before this dumbass started this war. But it's somehow the Democrats' fault. Yes, indeed. He's so smart, he calls us Democrats. He has no clue how to fix health care. He's been promising us since 2016 that he had an answer to the Obamacare crisis, the Obamacare folly, that he was going to fix it and he was going to get a bigger and better health care. And here we are in 2026. He's pretty well gutted the ACA, which is also known as Obamacare, but he hasn't given us an alternative. Just more sick people, more dead people. He doesn't know how to fix that. He has no thoughts on how to improve housing in the United States. This was a crisis that's been going on for 20 years and just continues to get worse as hedge fund managers continue to buy up private property for investment and jacking up the rents on rental property and jacking up the prices on regular property so nobody can afford a house. I'm approaching the end of my life. Well, not the end of my life, but I'm approaching retirement. And I would love to sell my house. And I could probably sell it for a profit right now. But I can't replace it. Where am I going to go if I sell this big old Victorian house I live in? No answers. None. Let's say no thoughts on how to fix the workaday economy. He keeps saying the economy's great. He keeps saying there's no problem. He keeps saying affordability is a made-up hoax by the Democrats, that there's no such thing as affordability. Meanwhile, hamburger, which cost $4.28 a pound when Trump started his term last January, is now $9.22 a pound, more than double. And he says it's going to go down any minute. Absolutely no recognition to the fact that his ill thought out, ill planned, ill executed tariffs have driven the cost of beef sky high. And not to mention, his ill timed tariffs have also made it impossible to replace the ammunition that he and Pete Hegseth have squandered in the Middle East for the war that they fucking started. Sure, the stock market's doing great. But you know who owns stocks? Rich men. Most of us don't. And you know what we do try to own? We try to own some hamburger. And we try to buy a gallon of gas. And we try to get ourselves to work every fucking day. And we try to figure out how to sell our house and live happily in retirement. But that's not an option. The other day, Donald Trump, who wants to call every single Democrat in this country a communist and a socialist and a traitor to the United States, sold out one of our longest standing allies and called off a military exercise that the U.S. Navy performs with the country of South Korea every freaking year, for years. Because he's not friends with South Korea. He's friends with Kim Jong-un in North Korea, who's an actual fucking communist. Right? And now, today, talk about giving away all your bargaining chips. Kim Jong-un says, doesn't matter that he's not doing that thing with South Korea. We're not bargaining with Donald Trump. So he gave away all those chips, pissed off our longtime ally because of his friend, the man he fell in love with, the love letter from Kim Jong-un. And Kim Jong-un says, I'm not negotiating with Donald Trump. So, kids, when you sit and listen to Donald Trump, remember, the boogeyman is never who he says it is. A group of pollsters got together and did a compilation of Donald Trump's last 100 speeches and the things that he talked about. In those 100 speeches, he used the word communist, socialist, and Democrat every single time. Every single time he was pointing out a boogeyman. But you want to know what else he talked about? 56 of those speeches, he went on about the fucking ballroom. He did talk about the economy in only 35 out of 100 speeches. But most of the time that he was talking about the economy, he was talking about it to prove how good it was and how strong the stock market was and how the Democrats continued to lie. But yet, every single day, we continue to pay $10 for a pound of ground beef. He did mention affordability 15 times, but only to prove that it wasn't an issue, that the Democrats were lying about it, that it was a made up word that didn't exist before now and was only founded just to make him look bad. You know what else he talked about? The shambles of the White House lawn and how he had to spend our good tax dollars to fix the White House lawn, never taking any accountability to the fact that he wrecked the White House lawn when he put up that fucking arena for his fucking cage match for 4th of July. Let's face it, Trump and the Republicans who continue to carry water for him cannot take responsibility for anything. They will never fix anything because in order to fix it, they have to admit it was broken. And if they look at it being broken, they might have to actually understand that they fucking broke it. We are in the fight for our country right now. I know we've said this a million times. If this election does not turn out well, nobody's ever going to take responsibility for it. And the millions and billions and trillions of dollars that have been stolen from our treasury and given to billionaires and oligarchs will never come back. We will never find our standing in the world again. And tin pot dictators like Kim Jong-un will continue to laugh at us like they're laughing at us right now.
And we'll be here to dictate and comment on the whole slippery slope all the way to elections.
I may have to become Canadian.
Well, I will blow my own horn last week.
Yeah.
Last week, ladies and gentlemen. So if you don't think time goes quickly, I didn't even think about it on the day of the show when we did the show. Last week's live show was
happy
my
anniversary, happy anniversary,
with
happy
Uncensored
anniversary.
Radio.
Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary.
Where has 6 years gone?
I don't know, Stephen.
Where has 6
beautiful
years gone?
years, my friend.
We have been riding the wave and we will continue to do so. You might start to see some extra faces pop up on Thursday/Fridays now. So if you are a person that would like to, we've got some other podcast hosts that might be guesting and, spruiking their wares and coming to give us some of their opinions as well. Make sure you join us and join in the conversation. This has been UCR Live. That's Vera. I'm Steve. Stay slippery, people. Much love. Bye.
Be accountable.